So my book is called The Garbage Beat. This is a scandalous book. It's a masaledar book on the big bad world of Bollywood entertainment and television news. Why the stress on masala is because here's the thing that whenever you are talking about showbiz reportage, not just in India but across the world, the stress is on masala and tamasha and gimmicks and nautanki, whether you like it or not. Abroad, outside India, it's a multi-dollar business. India, we're just taking the baby steps. But yes, the stress on this book is on masala, but it's essentially about this girl who's a TV reporter and who lives her life in her stories, her bylines, and also the lots of other reporters with her in the newsroom. Actually, it is both ways, because when you're talking about entertainment news in the news ecosystem, what's the atomic value of entertainment? You know, you do question, and the thing is that the whole ecosystem does entertain stories, does encourage stories which are high on masala. For instance, you know, it's great if you've got Anu Kapoor for maybe a film like Vicky Donner, or you got, say, Irfan Khan for Pan Singh Tomar, but did you get shots of, you know, Salman Khan's latest dog, or did you get shots of Shah Rukh Khan's vanity van, or ex-heroine's nth lip job? The point is, the system encourages masala, and the entertainment reporter has to file stories like that because you know, you don't want to be in a space where your stories are not aired. And it works the other way too, because I agree that sometimes it does get, you know, offensive, it crosses the line, it becomes invasive, but most of the time, 90% of the time, the stars know that their antics, their gimmicks are sort of immense viewer interest, and you know, paid news, planted stories, PR gimmicks, and generally spinning and planting, you know, or creating hype for whatever they want to sell is not an unheard of thing. You have stars who do sort of you know, cultivate the media in a way so that the media, certain, you know, sections of the media act as proxy PR for a particular star camp. Of course, that's very much prevalent. This is not about pointing fingers or passing judgments or sitting on the fence or saying this is right or this is wrong. The point is, this is the way it is, whether you like it or not. And you know, because at the end of the day, when you're talking about news, we need to stop being scandalized by the fact that news is also has, you know, news news organizations have revenue considerations, and you know, it's not that thoughts of different sort of reporting or different sort of entertainment reporting where we talk about the craft of an actor, the skill of acting, or you know, more as in you know, the analytical process of acting. It's not like programs like that have not been done. It also happens in this book too, but the point is that when you don't get the numbers, people don't watch those shows, the producers stop producing those shows, and then no one is watching it. So jo dikhta hai wo bikta hai, and that's a very true fact even in news, and that's how it goes. You know, you start with, I wish I could say something like I wanted to be a transfiguring agent or an agent of change and affect people very profoundly and stuff, but the truth is it started with recession, because you know, companies started, I'm a television reporter, I love my job and everything, I've been doing this for 10 years, but what happened during recession was that everyone was getting fired and everyone was worried about their jobs and everything, and you know, you started wondering whether there's something else you can also do to earn some, you know, to earn money and stuff. So yes, I thought that let me just start now, because I'd always in my head always thought maybe perhaps I could write and everything, but I hadn't taken it up seriously. And also, when you are doing something like my beat for 10 years, where it is glamorous and scandalous and shocking and outrageous and tiring and cruel, sad and wicked and entertaining, you know, there are so many masala moments in it that you want to sort of talk about it too, and it just came together grandly, and yes, so there, the book was there. You know, the topic of this book, the title of this book is Garbage Beat, and the answer to a question is why I called it Garbage Beat. You know, when you're doing news and everything, someone of incredible importance, who I'm not going to name, sort of told me that news is like food. You have essential food, which is news, main news. You have health food, which is like business and sports. And then you have pizza and burger and drink, which is like spicy and fizzy and everything, but not high on nutrients. You don't need it. So that's the garbage, and that's the garbage beat. And that's what entertainment is. Because, you know, I was made to question the fact that what is the atomic value of entertainment in news, when the fact is we are working the same number of hours, we are equally committed to filing the stories and everything, but there is still this you know, I won't call it arrogance, but a snobbery or a prejudice to accept entertainment in mainstream journalism, you know, and that is extremely it is frustrating. Yes, it used to get to me, it used to be frustrating, it used to be very discouraging, but you know, when you do this for so long, you just sort of accept it as an occupational hazard. You have words like, you know, popcorn journalist, page 3 reporter, candy floss reporter. I would actually like to question the people who do not understand showbiz, what really an entertainment reporter does, and thinks that it's all about glamour and everything. You know, what do you mean by page 3 reporter? What do you mean by that? Reason is because sometimes I'm scared that it smacks of a sort of an aspirational context. You know, it is said in a very aspirational context instead of using it as a tag to sort of viciously put you down. When you're doing this beat, you do feel that you have news where incredibly important things are happening all the time of earth-shaking relevance. You have the Aam Aadmi, you have Kejriwal and Gadkari and Manmohan, and you know, you have the news and international, everything is happening, and suddenly you have to do some, you have stories which are on entertainment. You know, people don't take you seriously. Is this news? Is this part of news? So you have to fight that snobbery, and since I have had to deal with it, Laila deals with it on a daily basis. It gets very vicious for her. It gets extremely vicious, not only for her, but for other reporters on her desk. And yes, I wanted to talk about that too in this book. Let me say quite a bit, in the sense that both of us are pretty happy in our skins as TV reporters. I would say that being a showbiz reporter, I mean, it allows you to be very irreverent. I can't think of any other place, any other profession which would allow you to, which would be as liberal, as encouraging, as tolerant as this beat, and as democratic. But at the end of it, the truth is, it's also a war zone. So both of us, Laila as well as me, for the last 10 years, we've gone through the same hurdles. To answer your question, I'll just have to sort of take you through the life of a TV reporter, entertainment TV reporter. Life has changed for us from the time when our most urgent deadline would perhaps be lunch. Today it's not so. Today, after the IT revolution, there has been this huge paradigm shift in the way, and an upheaval in the world of journalism. Today we can access news from across the world, entertainment content from across the world in numerous formats within nanoseconds. How do we beat that? We have anyone with a Twitter account and a handy cam is a citizen journalist, and hype and rant are not 4-letter words. How do you beat that? So there are lots of hurdles, and the clock is ticking for us very, very fast. We work in a system where for us a logistical nightmare is excruciating. You need to deal with a very scary thing too. For instance, you are reporting mostly from places which are lounges or party zones, and you know, you have to face unwanted attention, which can be quite scary, because you know, you have mob situations. People feel that just because you are interviewing, say, Kareena or some other star, you are automatically their 3 a.m. friend. The star leaves happily with their bodyguards, but we are left to deal with the, you know, Laila deals with that on a daily basis. And in fact, she gets into very ugly situation with bouncers and bodyguards, and with the mobs and people who want to get close to the stars. The stars go, so they, you know, try to get physical with you. So that is a very physical thing. you need to deal with the, reporters who are younger than you, because seniority doesn't matter in this field, right? I mean, you are as good as your last story. So you have reporters who are half your age, but they are willing to do whatever it takes to get that story. So you need to be as good. You need to cultivate the PR people now, because today PR is God, and the stars and their PR, I mean, it's a totally different ball game now. It's very professional. They are the crisis managers. So you need to do that. You need to also, the way we script today has changed, because 10 years back you had a copy editor, you had someone to check your script. It was a very different world. Today, I mean, your words need to attack, to jump out, to scandalize. So the way we are writing scripts are also different. And then and finally hurdle, I'll call it, when you take your veil of a sexy story to the newsroom and you think, God, I've done something great today. But what happens is, it could just be a zit in newsphere, because people are just, it's still and finally, it's the first story which will get dropped, unless you have a Shah Rukh or a Salman, but you just have 5 or 6 mainstream stars in Bollywood. So yes, that's why perhaps it's also treated as garbage in a way, and that question a reporter always keeps on asking himself or herself when you're doing showbiz personalities. I have written my second book, which is called Item Girl. It is also about Bollywood. It is about the casting couch. It is about the relationship between heroines and actors and item girls and producers and Powerpuff agents, and it is a murder mystery. So yeah, that's my second book. And the third book is also on, it's also on a showbiz personality, and it's called The Death of an Actor. So yes, these are 3 books. After this, I'm not going to do Bollywood after this. I want to get into a different genre, which will be the science fiction genre. Since I've done masters in chemistry, I've always been interested in, somehow taking elements from science and sort of having, a story. Let me see what I could do with that.